This has been one chaotic weekend in the realm of current events. I'm sure you don't need me to tell you that Hamas attacked Israel on Saturday. The attack included shooting rockets into Israel, shooting at civilians while in hang gliders, and attacking a music festival. Now, naturally, there are a wide range of different reactions to this. After all, the Israel-Palestine conflict is a long-standing one, and is a subject where people have hard stances one way or the other. Me personally, I am staunchly in support of the Palestinian civilians. Notice that I said civilians and not Hamas. Many people make the mistake of conflating the two, but there is a difference between outright supporting what Hamas did over the weekend and supporting the liberation of Palestinian civilians. Before I get into why I don't support Hamas, it is imperative to understand that while these attacks over the weekend were horrible and gruesome, they're not surprising. Israel is an apartheid state, and what happened there over the weekend has been a reality for the Palestinian people for decades. I want to read an excerpt from an article from Amnesty.org under the Fragmentation into Domains of Control section. In the course of establishing Israel as a Jewish state in 1948, Israel expelled hundreds of thousands of Palestinians and destroyed hundreds of Palestinian villages in what amounted to ethnic cleansing. Since then, successive governments have designed laws and policies to ensure the continued fragmentation of the Palestinian population. Palestinians are confined to enclaves in Israel, the West Bank and the Gaza Strip, and the refugee communities, where they are subject to different legal and administrative regimes. This has had the effect of undermining family, social, and political ties between Palestinian communities and suppressing sustained dissent against the apartheid system. It also helps to maximize Jewish-Israeli control over land and maintain a Jewish demographic majority. Millions of Palestinians remain displaced as refugees and continue to be physically isolated from those residing in Israel, and the OPT through Israel's continuous denial of their right to return to their homes, towns, and villages. Israel is far from the good guy in this situation. In fact, I think they are a monstrous state that needs to be held accountable for their horrific treatment of a group of people that were in that land long before they were. However, with all of that said, I still do not support Hamas, because I do not support the killing of innocent civilians. I get it, Israel has participated in the killing of so many more Palestinian civilians over the course of decades. All of the murder, rape, and violence in general you're seeing Hamas inflict against Israelis is exactly what Israel has been doing to Palestinian civilians for decades at this point. But that does not mean that I want to see Hamas do the same exact thing to Israeli civilians. And it has been fucking maddening over this past weekend seeing other leftists justify what Hamas is currently doing. This current escalation in the Israel-Palestine conflict is by no means a black and white situation. There is no clear-cut good guy and bad guy. It's estimated that at least 150 Israelis have been kidnapped by Hamas, some of which including children. Please tell me, what the fuck did those children do to worsen tensions between Israel and Palestine? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. There have also been a lot of horrific videos shared around social media, some of which I unfortunately have already seen, and one really sticks with me. It is of a German tourist dead and stripped naked in the back of a Hamas truck, all while Hamas fighters are cheering and screaming Allah Akbar. I believe that German tourist was at the music festival that Hamas attacked, and please tell me, what did that tourist do that was wrong, besides just be at the wrong place at the wrong time? I just do not condone the attack of civilians, not when it's Israel attacking Palestinian civilians, and not when it's Hamas attacking Israeli civilians. And speaking of citizens being attacked, do you want to know who are the real losers in this situation? Palestinian civilians. Israel has access to modern military tech in quantities that Palestine couldn't even dream of. Hamas has hang gliders, Israel has fighter jets. We are likely going to see mass devastation in the Gaza Strip that makes what happened in Israel over the weekend look like child's play. And I've seen some other people ponder this. Why would Hamas attack Israel like this? What is the end goal? Because obviously this is going to result in so much more devastation in Palestine than what we've seen in Israel. The answer, there is no end goal. These are religious extremists fully committed to the idea of dying for their cause, cause, they will attack the enemy no matter the cost. And now innocent Palestinians have to suffer the consequences of the actions of one extremist group. And Israel's Prime Minister Netanyahu said the other day, anyone in the Gaza area better leave now because we're gonna strike. Where the fuck are they gonna go? The Gaza Strip is a narrow piece of land. On one side you have the Mediterranean Sea, and the Egyptian and Israeli borders are closed, so these people have no choice but to stay there and get bombed, or whatever the fuck else Israel plans to do with the Gaza Strip. It's just Netanyahu giving himself an out later. After the Gaza Strip is totally devastated, he can say, well, I did warn them beforehand. Evil fuck. And speaking of evil, this story just came out today from BBC. Gaza soon without fuel, medicine, and food. The Gaza Strip could be on the brink of a new humanitarian crisis if supplies are not allowed in, authorities say, as Israel responds to the Hamas attacks. On Monday, Israel declared a complete siege on the territory, saying electricity, food, fuel, and water would be cut off. According to residents, aid has not reached the enclave since Saturday. The area is home to about 2.3 million people in total, 80% of whom rely on humanitarian aid, mainly due to the ongoing hostilities with Israel. It is ruled by Hamas militants, but Israel controls the airspace and its shoreline. It also restricts who and what goods can cross its borders. Neighboring Egypt strictly controls what or who can pass through its border with Gaza too. So on top of being devastated soon by Israel's official response attack that's imminent, these people are not going to be given basic fucking necessities. Israel's defense minister literally fucking said, we are fighting human animals and we will act accordingly. Jesus fucking Christ. This is just a horrible situation all around. Again, there are no good guys in this situation at all. Hamas is a monster born from Israel's colonialism and inhumane treatment of the Palestinian people, and Israel has no one but themselves to thank for the creation of it. But that does not mean you have to support Hamas. You can support the liberation of Palestinian people without rooting for the evil terrorist organization. Fuck the Israeli government, fuck Hamas. The only people you should be standing with are the civilians, on both sides. Oh, and one more thing, while we're on the topic of colonialism, fuck Christopher Columbus. That has nothing to do with the topic of this video, of course, but I happen to be recording this video on what many call Columbus Day, so I felt obligated to say that. Anyway, that's all I have to say. Bye-bye.